Hello everyone, welcome back to another Friday and another casual champion review. The universe hates me today, fighting Fizz as Lux with those characters. I don't know what country that's from. Here in Canadian land we speak only two dialects, the Queen's English and bootleg Devil's Tongue. Also I had a 20-minute queue timer. I don't know why, just playing normal games in League of Legends is an unending pain nowadays. But this is going to be an interesting one because usually a lot of these videos I've had more controversial takes because I don't like champions people like a lot. This one's going to be the inverse. I don't know how people are going to feel about it. You know what I feel great about though? Fan art section. Yes, look at that. Oh, it's wonderful. I'm really I have to re-upload the video. I usually record the fan art stuff in post because people upload stuff late, and then so if the video looks like it appeared twice in your inbox, that's why it's here now. And probably why it looked really scuffed the first time. Thank you, fellas. hopefully I didn't catch it too late, but thank you, fellas. The fan art stuff is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. I'm very excited for Malphite. I want to see you guys do that. Thank you, fellas. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I'm not really sure how this laning phase is going to go. Last I remember, this is a very unfavorable matchup for Lux. But, you know, I did play this character a lot back in the day. This is why it's going to be interesting because I actually have quite the history with this character. And I always find it funny as people getting flabbergasted. They see my highest mastery champions. If it's all Monstos and big goobers. And then Lux is just there too. But for her lore, I think a lot of people know about her lore mainly because she is so popular, but she's also been in a lot of stuff. She gets to be in cinematics, and she, of course, played a pretty major part in the Mage Seeker game, which is still my favorite Riot Forge game. So Lux was born into the Crown Guard family alongside her brother Garen. The Crown Guard family are tied very close to the throne of Demacia, and have been for generations. You stupid dog, you make me look bad. Tasked with protecting the great city from the evil mages outside their walls, and her brother Garen was sent off to the military school. You stupid dog, you make me look bad. Because of this, Lux was left by herself, left to take on the more mundane tasks at home, but she was adventurous at heart. She wanted to go see the world beyond Demacia's walls. And because of that, she would question everything, Demacia's methods, motives, history, all that stuff. She was very inquisitive, but she was so shining and optimistic that she never really annoyed any of her teachers. She was just kind of a bright young star that was rising up to be the next great light of Demacia. But one night while out horse riding, she was ambushed by a pack of saber wolves, which I don't recall saber wolves being a thing in the League mythos. I just remember saber wolf as a killer instinct character. I don't know if they meant merc wolves, but I guess we know merc wolves are in the Freljord now. But to protect herself, she unleashed a power she didn't even know she had, throwing a massive beam of light at the merc wolves and deterring them like I wish this Fizz would. Although I'm actually beating him. How am I winning? Oh, even though she saved herself from the wolves' attack, she was terrified at what had happened. She realized, oh no, I'm a mage. And she had been taught her whole life that mages were inherently evil. And she thought, oh, how long do I have? When am I going to turn? When am I going to become like the rest of them? Treating mages like it's a disease. Like, oh no, I caught mage. She was terrified that she would disgrace her family name and spent every night sleepless trying to quell her powers. But because it never went away, over time, she eventually grew a bit more familiar with it, learning how to control it. Maybe, you know, she wasn't evil yet as far as she knew. So maybe mages weren't actually all that bad. So she became dedicated to determining the limits of her powers and trying to control them, and would try to learn more about mage history and Demacia's history. This is terrible. Basically just trying to learn how to master her powers. But then we get to the part that I think more people know her for, which is her interactions with good old Simon. Finding her way to the Mage Seeker compound, she saw how they were treated, the horrible conditions they were kept in, asking the Mage Seekers, well, why don't you just exile them? They say, well, they deserve more punishment than just exile. They deserve to die. This is very not okay. This is very okay. I flubbed it. I flubbed it all. She came into contact with Simon, and they grew close. They formed a bit of a friendship, exchanging information and stories, Silas teaching her how to control her powers. And then, you know, the song and dance, Silas is set up to be executed, and Lux is like, oh no, I can't let my friend be executed. And she goes up and gives him a good old hug while he's up there being executed, and he thinks, or how does Silas laugh? And he just steals her magic, or borrows, I guess. and unleashes a torrent of magic. And the Mage Seekers know that Silas's power is about stealing other mages' power, so Lux's secret is revealed to the entirety of Demacia. So she's forced to flee, but not following Silas, and she gets interrupted by her brother Garen. But Garen's a bit of a lughead. He follows his orders. He would have normally destroyed a mage on sight, but it's his sister. He loves his sister. Stupid dog. I don't know if Garen would ever actually kill his sister if he determined. Ugh. I don't think Garen would ever actually kill his sister. I think he does love her too much for that, and we see the progression in Mage Seeker as well, that he's kind of grown to, like, maybe the people I've been following my whole life weren't in the right this whole time. So you see at the end of Mage Seeker, she goes off in a different direction from Silas with her band of mage refugees, forming a refuge for them so that they may stay out of the ongoing civil war. Basically, her whole deal is that she realizes that she is magical, but she is also Demacian. She wants nothing but peace for everybody, so everyone can live in happiness together. But, you know, there's kind of opposing forces on either side there that want otherwise. And I kind of like the contradiction of her there, because Lux is all about peace, about no, mages aren't all dangerous. But she is one of the most powerful mages in the entirety of Demacia. In fact, I think probably one of the most powerful mages in Runeterra. She's powerful enough to wake Galio up all on her own, which I forgot to mention, that's like a key part of her story of interacting with Galio, finding out that he's actually a living being, sort of. So you have that contradiction of, she was gonna be Queen of Demacia, she was gonna be married off to Jarvan, so the most powerful mage in all of Demacia was gonna be the queen, which that's contradictory to the Mage Seekers, but also she says, oh, mages aren't all that dangerous, they're not all evil, but, you know, if Lux went rogue, who's to say the destruction she could unfold? It would be quite disastrous. Of course, that's because she's not quite fully in control of her powers yet. She's learning a lot. She's gotten significantly better, but she still has a lot to learn. So I guess on her design now, it's fine. It's unfortunately become incredibly outdated with time. She is a very old champion. In fact, back when she first released, if you guys have ever seen what Beta Lux looked like, maybe I should mute these guys, I think. If you think Lux looks bad right now, the Beta Lux, Jesus, just a terrible color scheme, the worst kind of fan service. Like, why is she dressed like that? It doesn't even look like she has underwear on. Oh, it's so gross, but it actually surprisingly got so much fan backlash that Riot took it back in the oven. They had to redesign her a bit. Admittedly, that was mainly just adding a skin-tight bodysuit instead of plain skin, as well as changing her color scheme to match more the current Demacia at the time. But that's also the thing, is she's been left behind in terms of the modern Demacian aesthetic. Really enough, she actually kind of looks like a prototype Demacia, which I guess that's kind of what it is, but like, the boob plating and the colors aren't exactly quite right. It's not the right shade of white or white. It's not the right white or the right blue. Words. And her animations aren't exactly anything to write home about either. But that comes with being a very old character as well. For me, if you want a very clear example of a better version of Lux, of what she could be, then look no further than Legend of Runeterra. It's not the most radical of changes, but I think it's just enough. It's just enough to help fit her into the modern Demacian aesthetic without it looking too overbearing. Wait. Stupid dog! You made me look bad. Hi, Graves. The feathered tips on her pauldrons. There's no more boob plating. That's such a stupid character design thing. Ugh. The very subtle thing of changing the gems on her armor to blue better matches with her color scheme. And also, the fact that she wears armor, I know she's a mage, she's not a soldier, but she's still a member of the Crown Guard family. And if you look at some of her other family members, like Tiana Crown Guard, who she did originally fight in the Dauntless Vanguard, but she doesn't any longer. She has no reason to wear that bulky armor, yet she still does, because it's a symbol of the Crown Guard family. So I like that she still keeps that bit of armor on her to have that symbolism to her heritage, but not too much to make her look like a soldier. And it's not like that's the only design Legend of Runeterra had. I think Lux has had more redesigns than most characters. Even in the little mini cutscenes, like the tutorial for Legend of Runeterra, she has a different design there, different design in Wild Rift, in the cinematics. They're never very major redesigns, but they're all... Damn it! They're all minor changes enough to help improve the design, but not so much that she no longer looks recognizably as Lux. It's not like a Janna level or Zillion level, which, I mean, I listen to Leagues Above better than their original versions, but Lux is significantly more popular than either of those. If you changed her too much, then there'd be a huge amount of fan outcry, I feel. However, while the Legend of Runeterra design is good, there is a better one from Legend of Runeterra, and that's, I think, Lux Illuminated. Oh my god. That is my favorite Lux by far, and it's not even close. It's not canon. It's supposed to be Lux in her dream. This is her idealized version of herself, idealized version of her future of mages and non-mages living together in Demacia in peace. But to that extent, it's also, but to that extent, it's also just Legend of Runeterra Lux dialed up to 11, because it's meant to be this fantasized, idealized version of herself, so all the attributes of her original design are just enhanced. I'm sorry, Diego. Biden blast! So what do I mean by that? Well, I'll bring up a comparison of the two artworks together, but if you look at them side by side, Lux's feathered shoulder pauldrons, much longer. The skirt, much longer. The bodysuit is now black instead of a dark blue. That's because she now has this long, flowing blue cape expanded from the scarf that she had originally, and her staff is much larger. I mean, LOR, she didn't even have the staff, but compared to a League version, the staff is Seraph's Embrace. It is meant to be just Lux, but more of her. But I think it does a great job at that because it doesn't go too far. It's not like she has 20 capes, or she's wielding 2 staffs, or she has this giant, big, poofy dress or super bulky armor. It's the perfect blend. It pushed just far enough that it looks more fantastical and more interesting than this. But I also like it because I think it's a perfect blend of modern Demacian aesthetics with that bit more fantastical, magical feel. She feels like a Demacian mage, which is perfect because she is supposed to be the bridge between the two worlds. I would hope one day if Lux ever gets an ASU, I'm sure they'd probably stick closer to the Wild Rift design. They'd probably stick closer to the Wild Rift design, which, I mean, it's kind of just an HD version of this model. It still keeps a bit of the boob plate in there. It has a bit more flowing capes as opposed to just the bulky armor. Like, it looks a little bit better than the base version, but if I had to order it, it would be like this version in League, then Wild Rift, then LOR. Damn it. Then probably even Mage Seeker with the hooded design, and then probably Lux Illuminated. So I would hope, so I would hope if she ever does get an ASU, and she is going to get one, I am fully predicting that at least within the next at least 1 to 3 ASUs coming out, it's going to be Lux. Because if you've seen the pattern with all the ASUs, it is all only the most popular champions with a ton of skins. That's why we got Caitlyn and Ahri and Teemo and Lee Sin. So Lux seems like the absolute perfect next go at it. Although they might be doing Malphite, but Malphite's a bit of a different one because they're using Wild Rift assets for that. But as a fresh new ASU, Lux just feels like the most likely candidate, despite the fact she has 20 skins. They have their work cut out for them if they do it. She sells a lot of money. There's a reason they make a lot of skins. So now we can get to their gameplay, and you might have noticed by this point, usually with champions that I don't like, I will have said a lot of negative things about them. And that's why I said at the beginning, it's going to be kind of a weird video. People are going to probably disagree with me on this. Because so far, I've only listed a lot of really positive things about her. And that's not going to stop with gameplay. I really like Lux's gameplay. I'm sorry. If we go back a bit in time to when I was in my high school age, my later high school years, let's say. Early high school was fine. But later in high school, I didn't really have very many friends besides one. And so I spent a lot of time just playing League on my lunch break and stuff. I still remember playing Old Swain and Old Yorick on my lunch breaks. That was fun. But like I said, if you look at my champion matches, you see like Ivern and Kog'Maw and stuff. I have always, in pretty much every game I play, gravitated towards the niche picks or the unpopular stuff. Maybe I'm a hipster. Maybe I just don't like playing what's popular. I don't know. But I felt that maybe there was something wrong with me. That the reason that people didn't like me was because I was the weird one. I liked the weird things. So maybe if I try and force myself to like the things that everyone else does, maybe I'll fit in better. And so I forced myself to learn more champions like Rengar and Ahri and Lux, just to name a few. And I hated it. Like I liked Rengar somewhat, but Lux was different. Lux was that one character that I actually enjoyed. Oh, how did he kill me twice? And I realized, wait a minute, this is really fun. And of course, it's maybe because Lux is relatively easy. She is kind of designed to be baby's first mage. And I didn't play a whole lot of mages besides AP Kog'Maw, but that might also be why she stuck with me, because AP Kog'Maw and Lux are quite similar in their play patterns. They're very easy to play at a baseline, and they have combo routes they can do. Like, there's specific orders that you can do abilities in, especially with Lux trying to combo your passive and weave it in between abilities. But there's also just some immense satisfaction of having 3 to 4 skill shots, flying them out all at once, and just watching the enemy evaporate. To me, Lux strikes that perfect balance of simple yet satisfying. She's kind of like Morgana, actually, but Morgana's a lot slower, a lot clunkier. Lux is very fast, quick, snappy, just throw out the abilities, boom, 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 big laser beam. Oh, it's so satisfying. And she's also one of the few champions that has an actual canonical reason for being a duo lane, because she is a very supportive person, but she also is one of the most powerful mages. She also is... Oh, okay, well, that's not who I was going for. She also is one of the most powerful mages in Demacia, so it wouldn't make any sense for her to be just an enchanter. Oh, you thought you'd kill Diego there. Stupid dog. You made me look bad. And not every champion needs to be super complex. She is very easy to learn, easy to master. There's not a whole lot of skill difference between someone like myself, who, I mean, I play, what, like 100,000 mastery points on Lux versus a 3 million mastery point Lux. There's not a whole lot of difference. But there is that kind of wonderful nature of being a character that's easy to get into, but isn't overly oppressive. Ironically, I think the only times Lux has been oppressive has been when she is an enchanter support. But she's not so easy as like Malphite. That's foreshadowing. But you know, with Malphite, he's a lot more forgiving just because he's a tank. But Lux is all skill shots and she dies in a fraction of a second. Like if I get caught out, you saw with that Kha'Zix, I die instantly. I know that's a very unpopular opinion. A lot of people hate her because of how simple she is, how easy it is to be effective on her. But I've always liked her for that. She's one of those characters I can always just pick up and like, you know what, I want to play a relaxing game of an artillery mage. Let me just play some Lux. And Fiora wants that LP. That's what I'm saying. I played my ranked games earlier to get my free Victoria skin, and Jesus, the mentality of players is so different in normals versus ranked, because I don't really ever play ranked too much, but in normals, people sweat so hard in normals. I don't know what it is, but then in ranked, that's when you get the really toxic people in chat. This game isn't a great example because we had Brandon, Kha'Zix bickering with each other, but it's kind of that difference in mentality. And of course, I can't understand why people get upset about Lux's gameplay. It's not exactly super fun from an AD carry perspective to have a Lux either as your teammate, or on the enemy. And you know what AD carry likes, having all their kills stolen. Oh dear! Surprise! It didn't kill. It killed. Oh. So on the topic of Lux's skins, she has so many. She holds the three-way tie for having the most skins, or second most skins in the entire game. I think Misfortune takes the crown jewel now. I don't remember who the other one is. I know it's Lux and Ezreal, and then Misfortune's #1 now with 22, which is insane. Because of that, not all of them are bangers. She has a lot of really old ones. Commando Lux. Yikes. But I will say, she has the undisputed best ultimate skin in the entire game, and Riot hates her for that. I think Elementus Lux encapsulated the fantasy of an ultimate skin so well, with having 10 different variations in one skin evolving over the course of the entire game. It's ironic because Elementus Lux was so good that it made every other ultimate skin in comparison from that day forward pale in comparison. Oh, Fiora really wants that LP, I guess. I guess we win. Yeah, Elementus Lux, fantastic. Well, I don't know what else to say. Thank you fellas for watching this week's Casual Champion Review. I'll see you next week for Malphite, Mr. David Rockman and his son Chip. So thank you for watching. See you next one. All right, have a good day.